morning, everyone. Okay, so let us start our Sunday meditation. I'm Janet Montes Diaz, and I'm one of the senior students that comes here at least once a month. So, we're passing around the book of names, and you can put the names of people that are in need of prayers. Also, anyone who has recently passed away. And you can also put world situations. You can put the names of pets or animals. Anyone you think needs prayers at this time. And at the end of our practice, we'll read the names. Good morning. So, is there anyone that it's the first time they're coming to? Oh, okay. Thank you for coming, and I'll try to explain everything that we do. So, like I already explained the Book of Names. We always open our events and any meditations we do by saying our aspirations. And in Tibetan Buddhism, whatever we do, we always do with the hope that whatever good things we've done today are of benefit not just for ourselves but for others. So we always try to keep that in mind, and it's one of the reasons why we say the aspirations at the beginning. So let us, it's up on the screen, let us say, may all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. Now we're going to do, for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to do our meditation. And I'll explain a little bit of how we do this. We'll do this for about 20 minutes. After that, we'll have a short talk. I'll read a chapter from the book Comfortable with Uncertainty by Pema Chodron. We can discuss that for a little while. And then we'll go on to our closing prayers, our closing meditation, and we'll read the Book of Names, and we'll, at the end, we always do a dedication and the awe practice, which I will explain. So, what is the purpose of the meditation we're doing today? It really has basically three purposes, you can say. One is that we benefit ourselves and others. Another is that we want to develop we want to let go of whatever is holding us back. We want to, in this sense, we want to develop our wisdom, the essence of wisdom, by letting go, by just being in the moment. And we want to develop our attention, which is the mindfulness part of it. We want to be in the moment, in the present moment, and in that way, just be at ease develop our ease, develop and expand our openness. So how do we go about doing this? Well, first we start by allowing ourselves to settle and having the right posture. The right posture is really just to have, whether you're sitting in a chair or a cushion, just have your back, your spine, straight but in a very comfortable way. Just let the spine follow its natural S curve. And if you're sitting on, have your hands on your knees or on your thighs. Just feel like you're open. You've opened your chest. You've opened your heart. And just be in that position. So we do this by what we call the 3 pillars. First, we notice the contact of our seat with our cushion, with our chair. And we try to try to be aware that we're being supported. We're being supported by the chair, the cushion, but actually we're being supported by the earth itself. And the support comes from the very center of the earth. And this helps us to relax. This helps us be at ease because we know we have that support. So just feel for a moment. You're supported from the very center of the earth. Be at ease. Then we feel the support of our skeletal structure. Our skeleton is actually supporting us by having the spine straight, by just relaxing your shoulders. It's good to slightly open the mouth just to relax all those muscles. And really what we want to do by feeling the support of our skeletal structure is to relax all our muscles. Just be at ease. Feel that you have that support and you can relax all the muscles of your face, all the muscles of your shoulder. Have your feet firmly either on the ground or bended, and if you're on a cushion. And be there with that. Now we have another support that we may not be aware of, which is what we call the central channel. And the central channel is really, in Tibetan Buddhism, it's where we have a flow of energy from different energy centers that we have in our body. So 3 finger width below our navel, 3 finger width deep. We have what's called in Tibetan the Do, which is a energy center in our belly area. And from this center energy, we have a flow of energy that's going to come up through what's called the central channel, which starts down at that center and goes way up to the top of the head. So we want to kind of visualize or be aware that we are going to have a flow of energy go through this area. And be with that for a minute. So another interesting part of our practice is that we like to, in our lineage, we like to meditate with our eyes slightly open And this is one of the reasons is because this way it's much more easier to um, develop attention and to keep that attention going throughout your daily life. So we kind of open our eyes, a very soft gaze, just 3 feet in front of us. And if you find this too distracting, if you're new to meditation, it's perfectly okay if you want to close your eyes just to gain a little bit more of attention that way. So we're going to do this, and as we do this, we always have to have our attention placed on something, so we're going to use our breath. We're going to observe the breath as it goes in and out through our navel or nasal cavity. And also you can kind of visualize the breath going as we inhale, the breath will go down to the dome, and as we exhale, the breath will come up. Of course, it will come up through our navel cavity, but you can also visualize the energy flow that's going from the dough up to the top of the head as you exhale. So we're going to do this for a while, but you're going to notice that once in a while your mind is going to wander. You'll forget about observing the breath, and thoughts are going to come, and it's very, very natural to have thoughts come. And whenever you notice that a thought has come and that you've been distracted from your breath, you just let very, very calmly let the thought dissipate and go back to the breath. You may have to do this a lot, especially if you're new to meditation. But it's the way we develop our attention. So just don't think that you're doing anything wrong whenever you feel you've become lost in thought. Just go back. You can tell yourself thinking, label a thought, and then just let it go. Go back to the breath. So we'll be doing that for a few minutes, and then we're going to do a practice that was given to us by one of our leading teachers, which is a Tibetan Lama. He lives in Tibet and travels throughout China. He previously has come to Houston, and hopefully we're hoping that someday he'll return. But right now, because of the political situation, it's very hard. But he gave us a practice that's called the home practice, and I'll explain that later on. So let us just start for a few minutes by observing the breath. going to chant the sacred syllable Hung. Hung is a Tibetan syllable that represents enlightened mind. And of course, we're not going, as we chant, we're not going to become enlightened, but it does kind of help to kind of calm the mind a bit. So each one of us is going to chant Hung at their own pace, just for a few minutes. And I'll ring the bell, and I'll stop whenever I stop. I'll ring the bell again. So each person chants Hung. Hung. Now just observe, how do you feel after chanting Hum? How does your mind feel? How does your body feel? Now let us go back to the breath. Observe the breath as you inhale. Inhale, exhale. If you become lost in thought, say thinking, or just ask yourself, why did I come here today? Why am I here? And let it go. Go back to the breath. let us chant home one more time. And when you chant home, try to observe how the vibrations go through your body. Observe your body. Observe your mind as you chant home. Let us start again. How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? Now go back to the breath. Observe the breath. So the practice that we did is a practice that you can all do on your own. And if you're new to meditation, it's always good to start in short intervals. You can do like observing the breath for 2 minutes, take a break, a half a minute break, then go back to observing the breath, 2 more minutes, take a break, then 2 more minutes of observing the breath. And It's really beneficial if you can do this practice every day. You'll notice that it becomes much more easier to expand the time. Maybe do it like 20 minutes a day, and your attention will develop. You'll become more easily mindful throughout the day, through your daily life. So what we do now is we read a chapter. The book Uncomfortable with Uncertainty from Pema Chodron. And these are very short chapters, so it's not going to take very long to read. And we always like to discuss it a little bit. And this chapter that we're reading today is called The Practice of Mindfulness and Refraining. So let us read it, and then we'll discuss it a little. Reframing is very much the method of becoming a dharmic person. When we say dharmic person, someone that follows the Dharma, which is the teachings of the Buddha. It's a quality of not grabbing for entertainment the moment we feel a slight edge of boredom coming on. It's the practice of not immediately filling up space just because there's a gap. An interesting practice that combines mindfulness and refraining is just to notice your physical movements when you feel uncomfortable. When we feel that we're losing ground, we make all kinds of little jumpy, jittery movements. You might notice that when you feel uncomfortable, you do things like pull your ear, scratch on something that doesn't itch, or straighten your collar. When you notice what you do, don't try to change it. Don't criticize yourself for whatever it is you're doing. Just notice what it is. Reframing, not habitually acting out impulsively, has something to do with giving up the entertainment mentality. Through refraining, we see that there's something between the arising of the craving or the aggression or the loneliness or whatever it might be, and whatever action we take as a result. There's something there in us that we don't want to experience, and we never do experience because we're so quick to act. The practice of mindfulness and reframing is a way to get in touch with basic groundlessness by noticing how we try to avoid it. So it's interesting because refraining in daily life, a lot of times people think that it's trying to have self-control and trying to deprive yourself of whatever it is you want to refrain from doing. But let me see, I had a little sheet that explained a little bit more about it. In everyday life, when we think of it reframing, we're thinking of self-control, not saying something sharp when we're irritated, discipline, not eating an extra cookie, though it's tempting, refraining, restraint, not acting on an impulse until you thought it through. But in this sense, in Dharma practice, or whenever we follow the teachings of the Buddha, we're not trying to restrain ourselves from doing something. We're just trying to notice what it is that we're doing, the habitual patterns that we have that we a lot of times don't even realize we're doing something when it's just a habit that we have, and it might be irritating in some way for some people. So here, in the more spiritual contemplative context, it's really just noticing what you're doing, being aware that it is a habitual pattern that can be broken. But don't try to force yourself. Just observe. Just observe. And then you'll notice with time, you can, how do you say, you can pull back very easily. You can just let it go, let it be. And then you try to experience maybe just being in space, or I wouldn't say spaced out, but just to be in the moment and be relaxed. So it's a way of letting go. And sometimes, nowadays, a lot of times we have our cell phones that is there to entertain us. And there's so many things that are trying to entertain us in some way, just to so we won't feel that gap of not doing anything. But there is something beneficial in not doing anything. So you just have to realize that. And so when we meditate, actually, what we're doing, for example, when we meditate, we're not trying to follow our thought. We're letting the thought dissolve. We're letting the thought go. Just very easily, very kindly, and just let it go. So those are the ways that we refrain within Buddhist practice. So would anyone like to say anything or have a question about this? Yes, I'm not sure what your name is, but
Hi, my name is Reed, and I think it's very true the part you said about being comfortable with boredom, and the deal with like phones, that nowadays you can always try to entertain yourself by checking your phone or something if you're even a little bit bored. But then it always feels like it snowballs, and then if you check your phone, you're gonna like check your emails and your messages, and then there's more kind of stuff that you're putting into your mind that you're gonna have to think about, and it kind of builds up, and then you end up feeling just like kind of stressed and overwhelmed sometimes, instead of just being comfortable with the boredom and saying, I don't really need to like do anything right now, and I'm comfortable just like sitting here, doing whatever I was doing before. I don't need to add like another thing. So that's very true.
yes, yeah, I think it is very true, and it's really you'll notice that if you start to observe yourself, then it just becomes you're just more aware. You're more aware, and it's just easier to just say, oh, okay, well, this is just a habitual pattern I have, and try to, actually, you shouldn't try anything, but it just naturally kinds of dissolves in a way.
Yeah, it's really easy to get in a pattern of always having to check everything and kind of like be, on top of everything, instead of just like being in the moment and being calm, and saying, like, I'll handle whatever needs to be handled later.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it actually helps us in many ways to be at ease. And this is one of the principal parts of what we do, especially in our lineage. We try to just be at ease. So it helps in many ways to develop that. Anyone else that's online or? Okay, so I'm going to, I think we have a few announcements. I like to take this time to announce what we have coming up. Next Sunday, January 4th at 11 a.m., we have our usual Sunday meditation at 10 and yoga in the morning at 9. But at 11, we have a teaching by Lama Riksin Sherab Gyatso, Nathaniel Rich, called What is Your Intention? Setting Intentions Like a Buddhist. That sounds interesting. So that will be, he'll probably be online, right? Because he lives in California. But he is one of our main lamas here at Don Mountain. Then on Sunday, January 11th at 11 is when we have our next teaching at 11 on Sundays. It will be Dr. Renee Ford and Lama Riksin Sherab Jatso, Nathaniel Rich, which will host a free teaching on the Buddhist practice called Tonglen. And Tonglen is another a very important Buddhist practice of trying to, how do you say, having compassion towards others and having this, having the person's suffering come to you and then you give it back so that their suffering will go away. It's very interesting. So if you'd like to come to any of these, it would be wonderful. Also, I always like to talk a little bit our resident teachers, Lama Riksin Droma and Lama Nyamgil Dorje. They are usually here the first Sundays of each month. If you're new to Don Mountain, would like to meet them. They give wonderful teachings, and they'll give the meditation on the first Sunday, and then they'll give a teaching at 11. Of course, right now they're in New Mexico, which is why Lama Riksin Sherab and Dr. Renee Ford are giving the teachings instead. But they will probably be here by mid or towards the end of January. So if you have the opportunity and would like to meet them. They're wonderful teachers. They've studied with very well-known Tibetan teachers. And she is a professor at Rice University of Religious Studies, and Harvey, which is Namgyal Dorje, is a psychotherapist, so he always gives the psychological aspect of the teachings so that Westerners can easily comprehend. Okay, so I also want to mention that since we are a nonprofit, we always are willing to accept any donations. If you'd like to become a member, it's a wonderful way to help us out. And also, membership does have some benefits to it. There's certain activities that are given either free or will have a discount on them for membership. And another wonderful way you can help is just volunteering in any way that whenever we need volunteers. So let us continue then. Let's do, because it is getting kind of late. Let's do our ending practice, which is really just similar to what we did earlier. Oh, yes. Oh, and also, if you have any names that you want to, oh, they're all here. Okay. I don't know if everybody had the opportunity to put, okay, the names. Okay, so let us just start with the 3 pillars once more. And let's get comfortable, whether you're on a cushion, on a chair. It's good if you're on a chair, if you can put your feet flat on the ground. If not, you can raise them up a little. Okay, and then, once again, we feel the contact of our seat on the cushion, on the chair. We feel that contact comes from the very center of the earth. Now we relax, knowing that we are supported by the earth itself. Relax. Now notice your skeletal structure. Now you know that you can relax, knowing all the muscles in your body is supported by the skeletal structure. And just relax. Open your mouth slightly just to relax all the muscles of your neck, of your face. And just be there. And remind yourself of the central channel, the energy that flows from the belly area, the dough, up to the very top of our heads. And we keep our head just slightly tucked down. This will facilitate the flow of that energy to the top of the head. So now we are going to observe the breath. Observe the breath as it goes in and out. Inhale, exhale. When we inhale, we kind of visualize the energy going down to the dough. Exhale, the energy flow goes up. Observe the breath. Observe the breath. Now let us chant home just for a few minutes. back to the breath. Observe the breath. Okay, so now I'm going to read the Book of Names. Okay. So when someone dies, in Buddhism, they have the expression that they go to the bardo, which is in between space. Of course, Buddhism believe in reincarnation, so when a person dies, they're in between. You might say in between lifetimes, they're in what's called the bardo, and this bardo can be for some people it can be pleasant, and others it might not be so pleasant. It may be a very confusing time when they pass away. So we keep that in mind, and we pray for those that have passed away in a period of about 6 weeks after their passing, or 7 weeks, I believe it is, 49 days after their passing. We keep them in mind. So whenever I say the bardo, you'll understand what it is. So this is for Cheryl Jackson in the bardo, Alex, Faith, Ashley, Carlene, Sarah, and Mike, Mom, Terry, Mike, Claudia, Alisa, Judy, and Angie's cancer treatment, Dustin, Jeff, John, Rick, Betty, Ukraine, Stan, I'm not sure, Canal, Tehran, John and Elizabeth, Ms., Valerie, Amy, Tex, Nancy, Darcy, Dad, Danny, Nabardo, Mom, Nabardo, Robert's mom, Pat's healing, Cheryl's healing, Ruth's healing, Doug's healing, Jake's healing, Amy Winter's healing, Madeline's healing, Jerry's healing, Emily, Candace, and Shane, Lama Namgyal, Lama Rixon, Lama Sherab, all sentient beings, Jen, Coda, my parents, and Willie. So Now we're going to do, we have a little bit of time left, we're going to do what we call the, well, first we're going to do the blessing prayer of lighting the candle, sharing the merit. Let's do first, these are always our closing prayers. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. And let us do the candle, yes. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the love of love, wisdom, shine within us, everyone, till we all rise born forth in enlightened mandala. Now let's do our practice, and we'll do it. I'll try to do 3 ahs. Sometimes we do only 1, but this time let's do 3 ahs. We're going to chant another sacred syllable, which is the syllable ah. And the ah is, it really represents what the Tibetans believe is reality itself, which is openness, expansiveness. So it's a very expansive sort of a sound. So we're going to chant ah 3 times, and each time we're going to visualize something as we chant ah. So let us just start. Just once again, just notice the 3 pillars. And then be relaxed. The first time we chant ah, we're going to visualize an orb of light in our chest area. It's a white light. And as we chant ah, we're going to visualize that this white light, which represents all that is pure and good and all the good that we've accumulated in our practice today, is going to spread to all the cells in our body. All our body will be lit up with white light. Now we're going to visualize this white light that is within us, spreading to each person that is here in the room and each person that is on Zoom. Each one of us will receive white light from one another, and each one of us will give white light to one another. Now that we have all this white light in the room within us and with the people on Zoom, we will chant one more time, and this time this energy, this white light, this purity will spread throughout the world, throughout the universe. It will spread wherever there are living beings, wherever there are sentient beings. We will send this white light to everyone, all beings everywhere. I'd like to thank you all for coming today. It's wonderful. And if you'd like to stay a while and just talk and get to know each other, you're welcome to stay. And thank you all that are on Zoom for being with us. Thank you. That's it.